Hello fellow Riftbounders, in today's video we are back with another tier list with the first major regional qualifier taking place this weekend in Barcelona. It's a great time for a tier list. Now the tier list we did a few weeks ago at the start of the set, I think there won't be huge changes to that, but there definitely will be some tweaks and some movement based on some of the major tournaments we have seen already in set 4. We've not seen any regional qualifier level of tournament. We've seen quite a few showdowns. These tournaments have like 500 plus players, and there's been some very interesting results. Now, with a regional qualifier like Barcelona, there is no best ofs available for any set 1 legends. Hence, we've got the no metal tier in here. I will go throughout this video through every single legend and give my opinion where I would rank them. So if it's a set 1 legend that I don't think anyone's going to play at Barcelona because there's no best of, I will still give it a rough ranking of where I would put it, because not everyone is only playing legends for major tournaments. A lot of you watching these videos just want to know what's good and where your legend that you might want to play at a local Nexus night or skirmish would be. Obviously these videos are just opinion based on my experience of the game, and I do keep up a lot with major tournaments pro content as well. If you like this type of video, please do subscribe to the channel. Daily videos with deck guides, educational videos, the latest Riftbound news and tier list, all for you guys, so I appreciate the support. So we're starting off with Kaiser. Kaiser for me is bordering on good enough that even though she's set 1, I do think we could see a few at Barcelona, if not many. I'm going to put her into low A tier. The Temporal Breach card with the Brynir and some of the weird triggers you can do makes this a very powerful deck. I don't think, though, necessarily we will see many. There's a decent chance we don't see barely any at all, because people might not think she's quite good enough to win the event, but she's still very powerful. So we're going for all these set 1 legends here. Darius, I'm going to put him into the no metal tier. I do think Darius is a viable, good legend, but he's not won any major tournaments before. I don't think he's quite at that level. I would have him like mid to high B tier if I was ranking him, but I don't think people will be playing him in Barcelona. Volley Bear, I think the Volley Aurora is probably C tier. I think anything below that's probably D tier. I've not put a D tier in for the sake of this video, so the visuals look a bit better, just to present it a bit better. But if a card or legend from set 2 to 4 would be D tier, I'd put it at bottom end of C tier. And we've removed adverts. I've paid for Tier Maker Plus so we don't get the adverts on the video. Yasuo, no metal. Yasuo is a solid legend. It's basically Aurelia without the great chosen champ, without the great signature, and not as good a legend. He would probably be low B, maybe even mid C tier, I would say. But yeah, Yasuo, no one's going to play him at Barcelona. Jinx, no one's going to play her at Barcelona. I would probably put a low C, maybe high D tier, somewhere around there. I think there's a few kind of stuff in set 4 that's helped, but not enough. Timo, can't see anyone playing him again in Barcelona. He would probably be mid C tier. I think maybe it push low B tier because some of the hiddens and strategies Timo can do can catch people out. Master Yi, he is definitely one that will be played at Barcelona. I'm very intrigued to see what Master Yi's play rate is, how many people play him Barcelona. I am of the opinion that Master Yi is still right up there for the best deck in Riftbound right now. I will be releasing a video tomorrow doing a deck guide on Master Yi. I'm going to be playing him in Barcelona. I'm not competing in the main event. I'm doing side events there. And then I am going to, probably within the week after Barcelona finishes, release a metafied guide on Master Yi. It'll be a much cheaper guide than a lot of the guides on there, as I'm not a pro player with that extensive background, but it'll be very detailed, and I'd like to think I'm a good coach with my FIFA background as a professional player. But it'll be at least 10,000 plus words. It'll be a much cheaper guide, and I'll talk about it a bit more at the time, and if anyone's interested, you can feel free to ask me questions. But yeah, Master Yi, top tier legend. The +2 that you get off of his legend is just crazy. It's a very good color combo. He's got lots of great units. He's just very good into most things in set 4. His biggest weakness is Aurora, but Aurora, I don't think we'll see masses of Aurora. I'm hoping not anyway, because there's a lot of gear hate and Aurora hate now. Ari should probably be like mid C tier. No one's going to play it now. There's no best of. MF, she's probably like mid to high B tier. She's pretty good, but I think she's just not quite good enough that people are playing her. Annie, I think she's probably like high B, maybe at a push low A tier. Annie is very viable to go play at Nexus Nights and skirmishes. I think she could still do very well. I think she has a lot of good matchups and a lot of tricks, but I think without the best ofs available, I think people will switch off of her. As a side note, I'd potentially like to see them keep best ofs available for any legend that is still legal, so not rotated, but maybe after 3 sets, they have to make day 2. That'd be interesting to see, I don't know. Victor, I think Victor, again, similar to Annie's power levels, probably high B, low A tier. I don't think we will see Victor's really in Barcelona. Lee Sin, probably like mid to low C tier. I think he's obviously okay. He does have the cards that Yi does, but his legend is much worse. And I mean, that legend ability is just that good that it elevates Yi a lot. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. Where's Garen and Lux? We should see them somewhere. Okay, there's Lux. I'm going to put Lux into low A tier, maybe slightly above Kai'Sa. I don't think it is impossible that we see a Lux in Barcelona. I think that Lux is a viable legend that people might believe they can win the event on, or potentially she's a good option for top 64, and that she'll catch people out. And because you kind of have to tech for her in your sideboard, but people won't because she's not getting a best of, if you do play her and you're playing her at a high level, she'll probably be very good. Hopefully don't see her though. Garen, obviously no metal. Garen would be D tier. Even the Aurora version of Garen's pretty rubbish. I will be amazed if we see a single Garen in Barcelona. Honestly, if someone plays Garen in the main event in Barcelona, they are basically just trolling and wasted a main event spot. If they can end up making day 2 and do really well on him, I will take that back and apologise. Okay, moving on to set 2. Lucian. I'm going to put Lucian to high C tier. I do think Lucian's potentially mid to low B. He could do some really cool tricks, but I think he struggles into a lot of the top decks. I think there's a lot of gear hate, which will naturally hurt Lucian. Lucian to win tends to need the combo of like Skyfall, Trinity Force. If your opponent has any gear hate, they probably just beat you. Jax, low C, honestly, bordering D tier. Gear hate, just not a great combo. Not enough going for him. Oh, there's Set as well from set 1, sorry. Set, good legend, probably mid to high B. I think he actually is quite good in some of the best decks like Kai'Sa and Yi. But no one's going to be playing him in this event. Rumble, mid C to low C. Rumble's okay, but just doesn't do enough good stuff compared to the better legends. Aurelia, S tier. Aurelia has been buffed a bit in set 4, I would say. This new Akali unit's another good win con for her. Abandoned Hall not getting banned or nerfs really helped her. And the new Twilight Shroud's a potentially very good card on her as well. And Aurora was one of Aurelia's matchups she could sometimes struggle with. That being nerfed helps her quite a bit. And I do think there's a pretty... there's going to probably be quite a lot less Master Yis at this event, and with that it really does help Aurelia because that was probably one of her pretty bad matchups before. Fiora, B tier, probably low B tier if I had to estimate. I think Aurora, don't play Aurora Fiora. I think normal mid-range Fiora is the best version. I think that Riposte can be very good in certain matchups. I think Fiora can do some very powerful things. I don't know if there's masses of help in set 4 for her, but I think she's a pretty good solid card that all around is solid. I think that Kinku Initiate might be a new card in set 4. I feel like it's set 4 rather than set 3. I could be wrong, I don't know. But I think Fiora is a solid one that's pretty good. Rek'Sai, high A tier. Rek'Sai was pretty good in set 3. Had a couple of top 8s, I want to say. Very powerful swarm aggro deck. Can blow certain decks apart. Even like the top tier decks like Yi and Aurelia. If Rek'Sai gets off to a flyer, Rek'Sai can just run away with games. Rek'Sai is very good into matchups like Lux and Aurora. I do think sometimes Rek'Sai can run out of steam, or if it doesn't get what it needs, can struggle. Rek'Sai is not really a deck that I expect to win a Riftbound event, but I think definitely top 8 potential. And of course, anyone in A tier has the potential to go win. Draven, I'm probably putting him like low A, high B tier. I think Draven has a few bad matchups, but I think he's got a very good signature. I think he's a legend, is top 3 in the game. Those two combined really elevate, and I think probably the biggest thing that's really helped Draven in set 4 is Aurora, which was a bad matchup for him, has been nerfed. And on top of that, I think the gear hate that he gets with Raven, Blue, and Orbital Steel is a huge buff to the deck. I still think there's some annoying decks in there that Draven can struggle into, but Draven does have some very good answers. I think Draven is potential that could win the event, but I think needs a little bit of luck with the matchmaking. But I think Draven's in a good spot. I just wish Draven got Vanquisher back. If Draven had Vanquisher back, it'd probably be high tier, bordering on S. Ornn. I'm putting Ornn into low B tier. Ornn has slowly, but surely, been getting a few buffs, a few pretty good stuff. Ornn is very annoying to play against. And aggro Ornn, with the Sprite Fountain and some of the stuff he can do, can run away with games and be very hard to play against. If he gets 2 Sprite Fountains early on, including turn 1, Ornn can just get so far ahead that it's hard to ever come back against him, and it allows him to get more gear, play his chosen champ, and just snowball games. The deck is a bit situational, but when it gets what it needs, it's quite an unfair deck to play against. But it's quite a mixed bag playing on, but I think can be very powerful. Azir, I'm going to put it into S tier. It's partly the Squirtle effect, but Azir generally has been getting pretty good results anyway. Azir can do lots of great stuff, has very good matchups. From what I know, doesn't really have any shocking matchups. The gear hate in set 4 probably hurts Azir a bit, but Azir in the right hands can be sequenced really well, can do lots of really powerful things, has lots of tricks up his sleeve, and is a very tough deck to play against. But maybe to get the best out of him, not the easiest to pilot. Okay, we've got Leona as well from set 1. She's a no metal. Leona, cool deck, and I think probably would be like mid to high C, but no one's going to be playing that. Renata Glass, bottom end of C. Maybe the Infinite Renata can be okay, and maybe she'd be like mid to low B, but I don't think Renata's particularly great. And then if we're not talking about the Infinite, I'd probably put a D tier. Ezreal, I'm probably putting Ezreal like low A, maybe high B. I think Ezreal's not performed quite as well as I thought he would in set 4 so far in tournaments. I think he's okay. I think he has quite a few bad matchups. I think Aurelia is very good into him. I think this discard Pack of Wonders Ezreal that we've been seeing quite a bit is okay. And some games just destroys people. Some games just doesn't get what he needs. Too slow. I think Ezreal is very hard to pilot in the hands of a very good player. Is also pretty top tier. So I think Ezreal's great, but I don't know if he quite has enough steam and consistency in certain matchups. Sivir, pretty sure this is Spirit Force, I want to say. I'm putting Sivir like mid B. I think Sivir Aurora is pretty good. It might be better than Fiora, I don't know. But a solid all-round deck. But again, the gear hate that we've seen in set 4 does hurt it, I think. This is a random one I should have put in. Lilia, probably like low B. I think Lilia can have some really good matchups, can run away with games. I think in the hands of a very good deck pilot, I think Lilia can do really good things and has some really good combos and tricks up her sleeve. Purple Vex still shuts her down. Certain decks she can just struggle to get over, but a good, solid all-round deck in general. Vex. Putting Vex into high C tier. If Vex wins the dice roll, she's probably high B, low A, and can be very annoying to play against, get lots of draw, and hold battlefields very well. But Vex has a big issue with conquering. It's just very against what the deck wants to do. And if you get more than a point behind, you probably just lose the game. If you're even behind, like your opponent's scoring 1 point quicker than you, it's very tough on Vex. Vi, mid to low C. Sometimes Vi can be amazing. If your opponent doesn't have gear hate, those Vault Breakers, her signature, are very good. And Vi is really annoying to play against. But purple just absolutely destroys Vi. She's got no counter spells in red or yellow. That really harms her. And she just doesn't do what she's trying to do as well as a deck like Rexa. Ivern, probably don't think Ivern's quite as good as Vex. The color combo or yellow does as much as purple. Ivern has decent support. I think Ivern may be slightly better at conquering than Vex, but not quite as good at holding. Ivern is okay. I would definitely say Ivern and Vi C tier, with Jackson Renata being maybe D tier, but just okay deck. Again, if it goes first, it's probably like high B, low A tier. Pike, probably like low B tier. I think Pike is very hard to pilot, but in the hands of a very good pilot, can be very good, very annoying to play against. It can do some really cool stuff. I think a mid-rangey control Pike with Bewitching Spirits on top can be very good. Has some good matchups, has some shocking ones. LeBlanc, probably like high B tier. If purple didn't exist, LeBlanc would be there. But purple does exist. This really hurts LeBlanc. LeBlanc really struggles against that. The early Gust, the Starcross to remove her big units that she pays a lot for. LeBlanc has some great matchups too, though. Namely, most things outside of purple. Yi, I think, is right up there for the best deck in format. I think LeBlanc destroys you in general. So LeBlanc is really good, but yeah, she's kept in check by those pesky purples. Poppy, mid-range Aurora, maybe like just low B tier. Poppy's okay. I'm probably going to actually put a C tier. She's okay and can do some decent stuff, but not particularly fantastic. Kha'Zix, high B tier. I think Kha'Zix is very solid and can be tricky to play around at times. Got some really good combos with his Chosen Champ and the Irresistible Feyfolk. Really find that unit annoying to play against. It's like just a charm on steroids. Void Assault's very good, and purple and orange as a combo in like a mid-range deck is quite nice. Jhin, probably like C tier. We're talking about like a control Jhin rather than the infinite one. It's okay and can do some decent stuff, but in general, he kind of lacks a legend, just enough power. Rengar, probably like around here. This is probably quite a buff from the Prismat effect. We did see Sandy Sherman as well, who's another top player, get second with a Rengar. So Rengar has shown he can get great results. I think Rengar just doesn't even worry that much about purple and removal stuff because he just plays so many quick stuff, and he does have Thrill of the Hunt to get around some of the annoying stuff that people want to do against you. He's got Pump with Punch First. I think Rengar is one of those sleeper, very difficult to pilot well decks that requires a lot of sequencing. But again, Rengar is really good and a really nice, solid legend. Diana. I'm putting Diana probably like mid to high A tier. I think Diana is struggling a little bit with identity in set 4. I think people are struggling whether to know to go the Swain build, to use the Patch Poro bot, more ways. I think Diana is still good. I think that she's maybe part of this is that we don't expect as many top players playing her. From what I see, Diwali looks like he's still going to be playing Diana, so very interested to see how he evolves the deck. But Diana still really good and can beat pretty much any deck in the game. She does have very unfavourable matchups into Ezreal and Pike, which I do expect to see some of, but I still like Diana and what she can do. XPE, I'm going to put it to like high C tier. I sometimes feel like this deck can just get the nuts and blow you away, especially on Reckoner's Arena. I think it's a funner version of Yi to play than the Proving Grounds Yi, but just nowhere near as strong. Its legend is nowhere near as good. Akali, I've put in Akali like maybe like mid B tier. Very interested to see what Colin from Challenger runs on Akali. I've seen a few very good players that I know are going to be playing Akali. So Akali is probably going to be the most valuable best of, is the prediction from most people. With maybe Ari levels, we don't know. But I think Akali is a cool, fun deck. She's got some cool stuff like Ferris Forerunner and Defy to protect it from getting like star-crossed. You could put Jin, the red Jin Murderous Artist, in there potentially. And then can do some pretty unfair stuff with Stellar Corn as well. And the Legend from Akali to get lots of draws. Jace. I'm putting Jace into A tier. I think Jace is the best version of Aurora right now. I think blue and orange as a combo can do some really cool stuff. I think it's maybe slightly less consistent than like a Sivir because of the purple draw, but I think super powerful. It's got some better options in Aurora, and I think Jace's Legend's pretty cool. Nasus. I'm putting Nasus into 8. You know what? I'm going to move some of these actually a bit. We're going to move a few. I'm going to keep Nasus in 8. I'm going to put Ezreal at the top end of B. Nasus is probably the surprise of set 4 so far. I genuinely think Nasus is a very good deck. My best friend Dom, who very good at Riftbound, won lots of skirmishes in the local area. He's playing Nasus at the moment, and it can be a very tough deck to play against. I'm very interested to see what the best Nasus is pilot him on. There's a few types of variations, but I think Nasus is very, very good into blue-purple. I think Nasus could struggle a bit against the really aggro decks like Azir and Rek'Sai. I think they could just blow Nasus away before he gets a chance to ramp up. But in general, I think Nasus is a very powerful deck that has got a lot of comeback ability. So as in when he ramps up, some of the cards he can play just blow people apart. And actually quite a nice surprising deck. So it's good to see Nasus is good. Zed, I'm putting like mid to there, I don't know. I think Zed's okay. I think in the hands of a very good player can do some good stuff. I think Zed's a deck that maybe hasn't been figured out yet, or if it has, we might see it this weekend in Barcelona. I think Miracle Zed can do some cool stuff, but I just don't think Zed in general is powerful enough compared to some of the higher decks. Renekton, probably putting him like, he's bottom end really. Him and Garen maybe. Renekton's really bad. The support for him in set 4, I get the logic behind it, but it's just not very good. I would be surprised to see a Renekton go further than maybe 6 or 7 wins. Getting day 2 on Renekton would be a pretty good achievement. Not impossible though. Kennen. I'm putting Kennen right up there. We've seen Kennen getting some incredible results, lots of high finishes. I do think Kennen will be the most played deck potentially at Barcelona, which helps in getting higher placements. Kennen has quite a few variations. We've got the bait hook Kennen, we've got the Miracle Kennen, we've even got Control Kennen. I thought Control was the best at first, but I think Miracle generally seems to be what people are getting the best results on. Interesting to see what he does in Barcelona. I think it's a fun deck to play. I actually think Kennen might not get the best win rate, because I think whilst it's a very fun and popular deck to play, I think it's quite tough to pilot, but I think the top players on it will do really well, and Kennen is right up there as a contender to win the tournament. I don't think Kennen really has a really bad matchup. I could be wrong there, but I do think that little Yordle's powerful. Mel, I'm putting like mid B. I think she's okay. Her signature is debatably the best in the game. Her legend is not very good. Her chosen champs are okay. So she's trying to do something in the middle, kind of similar to, thank you, Gale Scary Monkey for the sub. She's trying to do some similar stuff to Ezreal and Diana, but she just doesn't do them that well in general. I'm very interested to see what Alan does on Mel. I'm interested what the play rate is on her. I think she'll be pretty good, Mel, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't think she's crazy, but I don't think she's too bad either. Shen, right up there with his brother Renekton, not literally brothers, just to clarify. I just don't really get what they were trying to do with Shen. I think it's disrespectful to put him behind Renard, to be fair. I don't really get what they were trying to do with Shen. I kind of get the link to his league synergy and stuff, but he just doesn't seem it, really, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of the deck. In a perfect world, it looks like it can do some cool stuff, but when you bring an opponent into the game, it's just not a very good deck. I laugh when I play a Shen. I've played 4 or 5 Shens. and I normally win like 8-2, 8-3 at worst generally. They just really struggle to do anything. So yeah, not a great deck, but we will see people going for the best of. I think the best of will be fairly popular. Ambessa, I'm putting Ambessa in mid B tier. I think Ambessa's pretty good. I think Ambessa, you are probably going for a build with like maybe even free rampage, free challenge, free perfect execution. That's a signature. Just try execute everyone, be a nightmare to play against, and just kill loads of units. And you can play safe with a legend. If you can get a chosen champ empowered, she's going to be pretty nutty. I do think Ambessa, like a lot of these decks that don't have lots of great counters, will struggle against purple. That's just a problem right now. Until things like Starcross go, that is a big issue for any deck that doesn't have lots of counters. I think Ambessa will do some cool stuff. Very intrigued to see how highly Ambessa can place in this set. Yeah, this is the tier list. Like I say, we'd probably have a D tier, probably be Vi and under with some of these borderline there. I think Pike and Poppy are not far off B, maybe RB. I think Ezreal, LeBlanc, and Kha'Zix are pretty close to A tier. And then if you're at the bottom end, you're pretty close to the tier below, would be my opinion. And the S tier, there's bought room maybe for a Rek'Sai in there, but I'm pretty happy with this list. I think anything A tier and above has a chance of winning the event. I can't see anything B or below, but who knows. LeBlanc definitely could with a good run if she dodges purple. I would say that. As always, massively appreciate you tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always appreciate them. I'm always trying to read them all. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. And if you're at Barcelona, do come say hi to me. Bye-bye.